Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Lancaster County Board of Commissioners meeting for Tuesday, May 22nd. For introductions, my name is Todd Wilchin. I am the chair of the county board this year. On my left, we have fellow Commissioner Deb Shore. On my right, we have Commissioners Roma Amundsen and Vice Chair Jennifer Brinkman. Commissioner Bill Avery is here this morning, but he's running a few minutes late, so he should be joining us momentarily. From the County Attorney's Office, we have Jen Holloway. From the County Clerk's Office, we have the Clerk Dan Nolte and Kelly Lundgren. From the County Board Office, we have the Chief Administrative Officer, Carrie Egan, and the Deputy Chief Administrative Officer, Ann Ames. Now please stand and join me for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Mr. Clerk, would you please start the agenda?
A copy of the Nebraska Open Meetings Act is located on the wall at the rear of the hearing room. Additionally, a copy of all written material to be discussed at today's open meeting is available from the county clerk staff at the front of the hearing room. The material can also be viewed on the county's website at lancaster.ne.gov. Agenda item 1 are minutes. Approval of minutes of the Board of Commissioners meeting held on Tuesday, May 15, 2018.
Move approval.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the minutes from the last Board of Commissioners meeting held last Tuesday. Any discussion or corrections? Okay, hearing none, Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Avery,
Yes.
Brinkman,
Yes.
Shore,
Yes.
Amundsen,
Yes.
Wilchin.
Abstain.
Motion carries 4 yes, 1 abstention. Number 2 are claims. Approval of all claims processed through May 22nd, 2018.
Move approval. Second?
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve all the claims processed through today. Any discussion? Okay, please call the roll.
Brinkman,
Yes.
Shore,
Yes.
Amundsen,
Yes.
Avery,
Yes.
Wilchin.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. Number 3 is a public hearing, increase in appropriations for the Workers' Compensation Loss Fund, Mental Health Fund, and Property Management Fund.
Okay, I'm going to open up the public hearing for the purposes of discussing the increasing appropriations for the Workers' Compensation Loss Fund, Mental Health Fund, and the Property Management Fund.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the truth and nothing but the truth?
I do. All right, good morning. Dennis Meyer, County Budget and Fiscal Officer. Today, the public hearing is to amend 3 of our funds to kind of clean it up before the end of the fiscal year. So with the Workers' Compensation Loss Fund, we're needing to amend that by $150,000, and that is really kind of due to the settlement that has either just taken place or is taking place, and so we need to amend that to give us the spending authority. The Mental Health Fund, which is really the Crisis Center, we need to amend by $175,951, and that is in regard to our new electronic health record system, which is known as Credible, some increase in employee health insurance costs, and then an increase in some of the psychologists and psychiatric costs. The Property Management Fund, we need to amend by $60,000, and that is really due to utility costs that we've been paying for at Traybird Hall. So those are costs that have come up throughout the fiscal year that were not planned for, as far as there is no change in property tax. To make these adjustments, there will also need to be a transfer from the general fund to those 3 funds to help offset those additional expenditures. Questions?
Any questions for Mr. Meyer? Okay, thank you. Anyone else, I guess, in the audience wishing to testify in support of the additional appropriations? Anyone wishing to testify in opposition? or in the neutral capacity? Seeing none, I'm going to go ahead and close the public hearing for the purposes of discussing the increased appropriations for the Workers' Compensation Loss Fund, the Mental Health Fund, and the Property Management Fund. Mr. Clerk, can we proceed to item 4A, please?
This is under new business, a resolution in a matter of supplementing appropriations for the previously adopted budget for the Workers' Compensation Loss Fund in the amount of $150,000, the Mental Health Fund in the amount of $175,951, and a Property Management Fund in the amount of $60,000.
Move approval. Second?
Okay, we have a motion and a second to adopt the supplementing appropriations. Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Shore,
Yes.
Amundson,
Yes.
Avery,
Yes.
Brinkman,
Yes.
Wilchin.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. B is an agreement with Great Plains Appraisal, Inc. on behalf of Wayne Kubert and Tom Kubert to provide the services of a referee coordinator to coordinate referees who will hear all property tax protests for the 2018 tax year before the Lancaster County Board of Equalization. The referee coordinator shall be reimbursed at a rate of $115 per hour with a total compensation not to exceed $180,000.
Good morning, Tom Kubert with Great Plains Appraisal. Here to answer any questions you might have with regards to item B.
Any questions from Mr. Kubert? Commissioner Shore?
I was not present on Thursday. Is there any major changes to the way operations have been held in the past?
No, we'll follow the same methodology we've followed the last number of years and are expecting a moderate year in terms of volume.
Okay, thank you.
And I think the only significant change is the timing between the final action that we take and the opportunity for individuals to provide additional information. That the deadline will be a Tuesday, and then we'll take final action on a Thursday.
Okay.
Yes,
So
and we're-
we'll give opportunity for people to attend the Board of Equalization on Tuesday, and then give, because of the complexity of commercial cases and reevaluation, allowing 48 hours to process that.
Okay, thank you.
Otherwise, everything else will be the same as last year.
That's correct.
Okay, any other questions? Otherwise, I entertain a motion.
Move approval.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the agreement with Great Plains Appraisal. Any additional discussion? Please call the roll.
Amundson,
Yes.
Avery,
Yes.
Brinkman,
Yes.
Shore,
Yes.
Wilchin.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. C is adoption of 2018 Lancaster County Board of Equalization policies and procedures for property valuation protests.
Jennifer Holloway, there were a couple revisions made to the language, nothing material, so just ask that you approve it with the revisions.
I'll make a motion to approve with the revisions that were provided. Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to adopt the Lancaster County Board of Equalization policies and procedures for the property valuation protests as amended. Any discussion? Okay, please call the roll.
Amundson,
Yes.
Shore,
Yes.
Brinkman,
Yes.
Avery,
Yes.
Wilchin.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. D is a resolution in a matter of extending the deadline for hearing protests regarding real property in Lancaster County from July 25th, 2018 to August 10th, 2018.
Move approval. Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to extend the deadline for hearing protests from July 25th to August 10th. Any discussion? Okay, please call the roll.
Shore,
Yes.
Brinkman,
Yes.
Avery,
Yes.
Amundson,
Yes.
Wilchin.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. 4E is a space rental agreement with the Lancaster Event Center for meeting space in conjunction with referee hearings from June 27th to July 20th, 2018.
Move approval?
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the space rental agreement with the Lancaster County Event Center. Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Brinkman,
Yes.
Avery,
Yes.
Amundson,
Yes.
Shore,
Yes.
Wilchin.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. F is a special event permit application from Scott Ash, Nebraska Sports Council, for the following events: 2018 Cornhusker State Games Adventure Race, July 14th, 2018. 2018 Cornhusker State Games Gravel Grinder, July 28th, 2018. 2018 Cornhusker State Games Cycling Tour, July 29th, 2018.
Morning, Dave.
Morning.
Welcome.
How are you all?
Good. Thanks for joining us this morning.
Thanks for the opportunity to seek approval of these events on county roads. We have been blessed for 34 years to have county commissioners, engineers, safety personnel, local businesses, volunteers, participants who see the value of an event like the Cornhusker State Games, both in terms of health, wellness, but also the economic impact being good for our community and our county. So we're happy to be back here again. July 20th through the 29th, most of the events are this year. And to answer questions on the events specific, we have Director of Operations Scott Ash, we have Director of Events Brandon Holscher, and our Gravel Grinder Director, who's a volunteer, Jason Saborin. They're great, and I believe they can answer questions that you might have.
Okay. Are there any questions to start off with? I don't know if you just want to tell us about the different events,
Yeah.
one at a time.
Sure can. The first event that I guess we put in front of you was our adventure race, which is July 14th. That will not be using any county roads, but it will go from the Lincoln city limits out into the county using the Jamaica North Trail. So there's really not much traffic issues that we're worried about there. That is an event that's a self-supported event. The riders and runners will head out from, where do they start? They start at
The Horizons Church.
Horizons Church, that's right. And then it'll be an early morning start. They'll use mostly trails. They'll do a lot of biking and running and some paddling along the way. We have a short course, a medium course, and a long course for that event.
And I'm assuming you're aware of the concerns that have been expressed by the county sheriff?
Yes,
And so you're going to have a plan to address each one of them?
yes, we will.
Okay.
Next up on our list chronologically would be the gravel grinder, which Jason is in charge of. And I don't know if, Jason, if you want to give us a brief overview of what the event is?
Basically, it's just a gravel road ride, and we're starting out on South Street over by the Code Beer Brewing Company. And we're taking the trail, Jamaica North Trail, all the way down to basically Roca, where we get on South 38th, and we'll be on county roads down south out of the county. We go way south and then down around Crete and come back up, and I believe it's northwest or southwest 12th, I think. But we come back up in through towards the Folsom Street, back up to South Street, Coddington area there. And basically, we just have a short, long, and short, medium, and long routes of 25, 50, and 100 miles. And the riders are aware it's an open course, and everybody's expected to follow the rules of the road. And they know that there are no intersections or anything that are going to be closed to traffic to allow them safe passage. So they're aware of, just following the rules and being safe.
And so I'll just point out that the sheriff had the same recommendations that he had for the road race. In that one, that the course be examined for potential problems before the race, and that if there are any issues, that they be communicated to the participants, that then the organization is responsible for the crowd control and the spectator parking, but then finally that the event organizer is also responsible for any cleanup of the race course. So you're aware of those concerns, and you have a plan to address them.
Yes.
Just want to make the public aware of what those concerns were. But yeah, those are pretty standard, but I know you've been able to address them in the past.
Yeah.
So, Commissioner Shore, do you have a question?
I was just curious, for each of the races, and I know that you haven't had a chance to talk yet, Jason, but how many cyclists are you expecting? What are the crowd sizes that you'll be supporting?
We've been getting about 70, 75 riders.
And I would assume mostly very experienced riders.
Yeah.
You don't sign up for a 100-mile route if you're
No.
a first-timer.
Now, the first timers kind of just stick to the trail, pretty much.
Any other questions about the gravel grinder? Okay. Next.
Lastly was our cycle tour. We've been doing that event about as long as the state games has been around. It is a non-competitive ride, again, short, medium, and long courses of 25, 50, and 100 miles. We will again this year use the same route as we used in the past couple years, I guess, and we're starting at the Super Saver out in Fallbrook. And we will have the short course, make a loop just around the south edge of Branched Oak and back, and then the medium course heads to Seward from there and back, and then the long course will go from Seward to Brainerd and come back the same route. So, as with all of our events, they will be fully medical supported. We'll have volunteers out there in their vehicles roaming the course. We'll have stops along the way along each of these courses for safety and for refreshments. And as Jason pointed out, all three of the events are basically self-supported, and they all they've been informed that they have to follow the rules of the road. There will be no road closures along the way.
Okay. Any questions about the special event permits? Okay. Mr. Clerk, can we adopt all three of them at once, or do we have to do them separately?
I think we can do them all at once, since they're on the agenda all together, so.
Okay.
Move approval?
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the special event permit applications from the Nebraska Sports Council. Any discussion? Just for the record, when are the state games? Dave, you want to give a plug?
July 20th through the 29th are most of the events. We have a few on the weekend before that. Opening ceremonies is July 20th, Friday, July 20th.
Excellent. Okay. Any other questions? Please call the roll.
Avery,
Yes.
Amundson,
Yes.
Shore,
Yes.
Brinkman,
Yes.
Wilchin.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0.
Hey, thanks, guys.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Good luck.
4G is a lease agreement with Dean Smith to lease real property owned by the county. As described in the agreement, lessee will pay the county $2,088. The term of the lease is from January 1st, 2018 through December 31st, 2018.
We have not received the insurance yet, so I just ask that you approve it subject to the insurance. Otherwise, if you'd rather, you can also pull the item, but we're pretty confident we'll get the insurance pretty soon.
Move approval of the lease agreement with Dean Smith contingent upon the receipt of the insurance.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the lease agreement with Dean Smith, contingent upon the receipt of a insurance certificate. Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Amundson,
Yes.
Brinkman,
Yes.
Avery,
Yes.
Shore,
Yes.
Wilchin.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. H is an interlocal agreement with Buffalo County for the safekeeping, care, and sustenance of pre-adjudicated juveniles at the Youth Services Center. Lancaster County will be reimbursed at the rate of $276 per juvenile per day.
Move approval.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the interlocal agreement with Buffalo County. Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Avery,
Yes.
Shore,
Yes.
Brinkman,
Yes.
Amundson,
Yes.
Wilchin.
No.
Motion carries 4 yes, 1 no. I is a recommendation from the purchasing department and the county engineer to award a contract to Maxwell Products, Inc. for a rental of a polypatch applicator for 3 months and a purchase of massive pave patch material. The estimated amount is $33,100.
Lancaster County Engineer Pam Dingman. I'd like to thank the clerk for getting all those pronunciations right. Polypatch applicator is what we use for our transverse longitudinal joint failure problems, and we've come up with a really good system to go ahead and patch these cracks. And just so you know, those are the cracks that go across the road, so as you're driving across in your car, we'll get that kind of bump feeling. We've come up with a really good system for maintaining that. That is a major area of pavement failure in the county, and we know that patching with this method will extend our pavement life.
Any other questions for the county engineer?
Move approval. Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to award the contract to Maxwell Products, Inc. Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Brinkman,
Yes.
Amundson,
Yes.
Shore,
Yes.
Avery,
Yes.
Wilchin.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. J is a recommendation from the purchasing department and the county engineer to award a purchase order to Murphy Tractor and Equipment, Inc. for a track loader. The amount is $182,850.
Pam Dingman, Lancaster County Engineer. The track loader was included in our budget for last year. We do select these not based on low bid, but based on life cycle cost. So how long we're going to keep the equipment, and that was something that Commissioner Avery worked on when he was in the legislature. And so we're excited once again to award Murphy Tractor with this system because it is the best for the taxpayers.
Move approval.
Second?
Okay, a motion and a second to award the purchase order to Murphy Tractor and Equipment for a track loader. Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Shore,
Yes.
Avery,
Yes.
Amundson,
Yes.
Brinkman,
Yes.
Wilchin.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. K is a recommendation from the purchasing department and the county engineer to award a purchase order to Murphy Tractor and Equipment Company, Inc. for a backhoe loader. The amount is $91,976.
Pam Dingman, Lancaster County Engineer. So this backhoe loader was also in our budget for the current budget year, and we are selecting this piece of equipment also based on life cycle cost analysis.
Move approval. Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to award the purchase order to Murphy Tractor and Equipment Company for a backhoe loader. Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Avery,
Yes.
Brinkman,
Yes.
Shore,
Yes.
Amundson,
Yes.
Wilchin.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. L is a recommendation from the purchasing department and the county engineer to award purchase orders to the following vendors for the supply and hauling of gravel course material. The total for all vendors is $698,260. This is with Buell Trucking, Inc. in the amount of $335,575. Gana Trucking and Excavating in the amount of $158,330. And Lyman Ritchie Corporation in the amount of $204,355.
Pam Dingman, Lancaster County Engineer. I know there were a few questions in regards to the gravel bid yesterday. So I did bring a map where I have numbered the gravel piles around the county. We do have 10 gravel piles. Each number is associated with a item on the bid. We then go back and what we do is we award the contract to the lowest cost per pile instead of overall to the county. And this enables us to get the best price and also gives small business the opportunity to participate in our contract.
Okay, any questions for the county engineer?
Move approval. Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to award the purchase orders to three vendors for the supply and hauling of gravel. Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Brinkman,
Yes.
Shore,
Yes.
Amundson,
Yes.
Avery,
Yes.
Wilchin.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. M is a contract with J&A Traffic Products using a City of Lincoln contract to provide a square steel sign post system, hardware, and accessories. The initial term of the contract will begin upon execution through March 27, 2019. Pricing will be pursuant to the City of Lincoln's contract. The cost of the county is not to exceed $45,000.
Pam Dingman, Lancaster County Engineer. So this is really a change for us, and what we typically have used is a U-shaped signpost, and we're changing to a square signpost. You may notice that the city has already changed to a square signpost, as has the state. It has been determined that square signposts get less oscillation in the wind. And you may recall a couple weeks ago when we had that wind that was really bad for a couple days, we actually lost about 56 signs because the bolts just sheared apart in the wind. And so the square signpost will enable our signs to have more stability in the wind. I know it's super nerdy, but I'm very excited about this because I think it will increase safety for Lancaster County residents.
Any questions for the county engineer?
Move approval.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the contract with J&A Traffic Products. Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Shore,
Yes.
Amundson,
Yes.
Avery,
Yes.
Brinkman,
Yes.
Wilchin.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. Number 5 are consent items. Settlement between Kenneth Cook and Kathy Havlicek Cook and Lancaster County for $1,015.77 regarding an incident that occurred on November 8th, 2017, resulting in damage to property generally located at 1634 Prospect Street in Lincoln, Nebraska. Contract with Genoa Healthcare LLC to provide annual pharmacy services for general assistance clients. The term of the contract is 1 year from the date of execution, with the option for 5 additional 1-year renewals. The cost of the county is not to exceed $300,000 for all contracts. Agreement with Straight Line Striping, Inc. and Lancaster County on behalf of the Lancaster County Engineer to provide pavement striping. The cost of the county is not to exceed $109,823.41. Amendments to the following contracts. C-18-175 to add an additional county site to a professional services contract between JEO Consulting and Lancaster County for wetland delineation and permitting services for various Lancaster County sites. The new total cost of the county is $27,560. C-14-247 with New Heights Tree Service for tree trimming and removal services. The amendment extends the contract for 2 months from May 20th, 2018 through July 19th, 2018. The cost of the county is not to exceed $5,000.
Move approval of the consent items.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the consent items. Any discussion? I just want to clarify, I think the clerk misspoke on item 5D2. The amendment extends the contract for 1 month, or is it 2?
Yeah, just the agenda wording was wrong. The contract is actually from May to July.
Okay, so July 19th or,
Yes, yeah, just the month was wrong. Yeah, so July 19th.
okay. Thank you for the clarification. Any other discussions about the consent items? Please call the roll.
Avery,
Yes.
Brinkman,
Yes.
Shore,
Yes.
Amundson,
Yes.
Wilchin.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. Next is number 6, public comment. Those wishing to speak to items relating to County Board of Business not on the agenda may do so at this time.
Anyone in the audience wishing to speak on an item not on the agenda may do so at this time. Seeing none, Mr. Clerk, would you please continue with the announcements?
The Lancaster County Board of Commissioners will hold department budget hearings on Tuesday, May 22nd, 2018, at 9:30 a.m., or immediately following the Lancaster County Board of Commissioners meeting in the Bill Luxford Studio of the County City Building. The Lancaster County Board of Commissioners will hold a staff meeting on Thursday, May 24th, 2018, at 8:30 a.m. in the Bill Luxford Studio of the County City Building. The Lancaster County Board of Commissioners will hold its next regular meeting on Tuesday, May 29th, 2018, at 9 a.m. in Room 112 of the County City Building. The Lancaster County Board of Commissioners will hold department budget hearings on Tuesday, May 29th, 2018, at 9:30 a.m. or immediately following the Lancaster County Board of Commissioners meeting in the Bill Luxford Studio of the County City Building. County Commissioners can be reached at 402-441-7447 or commish@lancaster.ne.gov. The Lancaster County Board of Commissioners meeting is broadcast live on Link TV City. For the rebroadcast schedule, visit lincoln.ne.gov. Meetings are also streamed live on Link TV and can be viewed on YouTube.
I move we adjourn.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to adjourn. Please call the roll.
Brinkman,
Yes.
Shore,
Yes.
Amundson,
Yes.
Avery,
Yes.
Wilchin.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0.
Okay, we are adjourned. Have a good week.